The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What is up, YouTube? Dolly back again, live tonight from Orlando, Florida. Okay, the home of Mickey Mouse. All right, Disney World. Tonight we're talking about Emmanuel Haro's parents pleading not guilty. Shocking twist, shocking twist. I told you guys, I told y'all, and we're going to be going over some of those things. We're going to be talking about the white boy, Austin Drummond, dancing with Big Daddy, and a young lady, Renesmee, 9 years old, 45 pounds, murdered, submerged in water, thrown in the trash by her adopted parent, foster parent, unalive, this young girl. And we're going to be talking about all three of those things here tonight. But first, I'm going to need you guys to leave your DNA all over that like button, just in case you go missing in the hills of Tennessee, deep woods of Nova Scotia, or cooking with Big Daddy gets you, okay? Anyway, I am going to need your DNA on that like button, fingerprints, all that good stuff. Also, if you're brand new, sub up, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, feel free to share my face everywhere, okay? So, Psychic Dolly Hotline, 1-900-DOLLY, told you guys that today was going to be pretty not much to court. Wasn't going to be very much to it, right? We knew they were going to plead not guilty. I told you guys that. Thank you for becoming a member, Ellis. And they were going to put in their not guilty plea and want to get a speedy trial, right? Want to get a speedy trial. So basically that's what they did, is they put in their not guilty pleas today, which uneventful, like I said, and there was really no press conference of any sort. There is supposed to be a press conference tomorrow given, from my understanding, about this whole case. Now, of course, Jake has court-appointed attorneys. Okay, he has two people representing him, and of course, a pro bono lawyer, which is a DA, is representing Rebecca. Okay, so like I said, they showed up for court today. Pretty quick court hearing. They just pled guilty, and that was pretty much it.
why do you think they moved the court date around?
Why do I think they?
I think they did that the last time also. It was at a set time and then they moved it back.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it has to do with how much stuff they have on the docket. And if they, because, you know, they have to transfer you from the jail to the court. And if the jail is running behind, they push the time back a little bit. And that could have been the reason why they did that.
You don't think they're trying to make it to where certain people don't show up or don't get to come in?
Well, I mean, it could be something like that. Now, we did see there was a lot of, you know, YouTubers and TikTokers out in front of the courthouse today. Actually, that one girl that I met was on the news earlier today, being outside the courtroom. And they're trying to get where there's a registry done for child abusers. You know how you have one for sex offenders? Well, these people are pushing for one for child abusers. You know, if you beat a child and you have a history of beating a child, there should be some, you know, record of that. But really, what good would that have done in this case? Would it have done any good if Jake Haro would have been on a registry of child abusers? Now, maybe if you're on a registry, they should have to check in on you once a month like they do SA offenders. And that may have been something to this because, you know, honestly, we don't know how long Emmanuel Haro has been missing. The courts are saying he may have went missing a few days before he came up missing, but we don't know if it was a few days or a few months, to be honest, because there's nobody that's seen him. There's no proof of life at all.
I believe they had, well, I saw a rumor that may be true of them having either Sam's Club or one of those big stores, warehouse-like stores, where he was with the family on surveillance.
Okay, and how long ago was
on
that?
On like the 4th of August.
On the 4th of August, you believe this baby was with him?
I mean, I don't know what to believe because nobody in the story is telling the truth. So therefore,
yeah.
But what really still shocks me,
the 5th of August.
What really still shocks me is that not a single friend or relative or anyone close to these people
had seen the baby.
I babysat him on this day because it was so and so's birthday and then went out to dinner. Or like,
well, what if it's something wrapped up in a car seat that looks like a baby but ain't a baby?
Right.
You know, do we know there was official sighting of they seen this baby at face and seen this baby alive? I'd like to see that video if it occurs. Now, in court, they did say they're going to try to seal the arrest warrant from the public. They don't want the public to see the arrest warrant. Why do you think that is, PJ?
I don't know. That's a good...
because I don't think it has much. I don't think they really have too much evidence against them. I honestly don't.
Why would they have gotten them? I think they actually do have a lot.
Well, if they had a lot of evidence, wouldn't they want the public to know that they have a lot of evidence?
No.
If they don't have a lot of evidence, they're trying to hide that from the public.
No, they're trying to not have the public so involved because, again, the public's not recognizing they don't need to know anything until these people are prosecuted. If it gets out in the public, it's ruining the prosecution and the case.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case. If we know the reason why they arrested them, how does that hurt the case? That's usually stuff like that is released in press conferences of what reason they had to arrest the people.
Defendants get out of charges because they claim that the investigation is botched or biased. Think about Brian Koberger and what he would have had he gone into trial. People were
he was getting convicted anyway. You look at it.
I do agree, but all of them times where something got leaked and people got in so much trouble, and supposedly the defense claimed that his rights were being violated by the leaks. I can see both sides.
Yeah, and thank you for getting me not. It says here is one for the Blessed Express. Okay, forget you not is jumping on the Blessed Express. Boy mom jumped on the Blessed Express and got VIP seats. Okay, so thank y'all for getting on the Blessed Express. You know they say you ain't blessed tonight unless you on the Express. Now, if you having some bad luck and you need some good luck in your life, get on the Blessed Express and your day will change, right? Your whole night will get better and you'll be like, damn, I'm glad I got on the Blessed Express. So there's rumors out there, and this is just rumors, let me give my warnings first. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, mixed with a whole lot of comedy and chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion. People, completely satire. Everyone is innocent to proven guilty, even the people we are talking about tonight. And the biggest one of them all is don't try to be Dolly at home. It's dangerous and you could die. Okay. And I am not responsible for that. You cannot sue me. I gave you those warnings. Okay. So there's some rumors going around that Rebecca was jumped in the med line trying to get her medicine inside the jail. Now, what med she takes, I don't know. And this is just rumors that she's done been beat up. So now she has 4 black eyes. Okay. Shit you not. I don't know how you get 4. She got black eyes on the bottom, black eyes on the top. The 2 eyes in the back of her head, they're black. Okay. She done got pieced up allegedly. This is some of the stuff that's going around in the Facebook groups. Now we heard that, you know, they're in segregation. They're by themselves. And even Jake, remember when people were saying he confessed that he really didn't because he has no communication with other inmates. And I believe it's the same way for Rebecca. I think people just get on the internet and they come up, they want them to get beat up, but that don't mean they did. And people are just saying these things. I don't really believe it's true that she was beat up in the med line, that she was jumped. I think that's just people being keyboard warriors. Like, what was it? The prosecutor and the DA said, you know, everybody's big old keyboard warriors and YouTube people and TikTok people are messing up the case. I think it's another situation of that people just get on the internet and say anything. And then there's so many people that just believe it and run with it, right? We're even talking about it because I'm talking about it because I believe it's BS, but there's some people out there that'll believe this is true without any factual evidence that she did get beat up, right? She was in court today. She didn't look beat up. Okay. So, and in the jail, they're going to try to protect you as much as they can, believe it or not.
For you.
Yeah, they're responsible for you because you can turn around and get hurt. And then next thing you know, we know these people are lawsuit happy. They turn around and sue the jail, okay, for letting them get hurt or putting them in a bad place where they would get attacked and things like that because they're high profile right now. Now, you know, when they go to prison, they'll be high profile for the first part until they work their tears down to a level where they can be around other people and people forget about this case a little bit. Now, I don't think anybody's forgetting about it anytime soon, right? Until convicted, then all bets are off. No, that's not true. They'll keep you safe. They'll house you different in the prison the same way they do in the jail. They'll put her in 23-1, and as she works her level down, the threat level, then they will move her. But here's the thing. Usually when you do things like this, crimes against kids, they put you in there in pods that other people are charged with similar crimes. So say you hurt a kid, they're going to put you around other people that hurt kids. So that way you don't hurt each other. Mad, right? What are you going to be mad at me for hurting a kid when you hurt a kid? No. So they tend to keep these SA offenders around SA offenders, and they tend to put baby murderers around baby murderers. It's if they can. That way there's not a whole lot of attacks in the prison. Believe it or not, they try to keep those down. Everybody believes so much in prison justice, but how often do we see it? Right? How often do we see it? There's baby killers that are flooding the jails, like Leilani. I mean, if she got beat up, as she, you know what I'm saying? It don't happen. People see one prison show and think everybody that goes to prison gets shanked and beat up.
Well, it seems like whenever they have high profile or somebody that may have an issue, they move them. Like
yeah, they protect them like
Alan
crazy.
Montgomery got moved to Virginia.
Yeah,
Richard Allen, I think, got moved. A couple of different people got moved.
Yeah, I mean, there's attacks in prison, but it's usually gang related or people that didn't pay their debts. They're too busy fighting and stabbing each other to worry about anybody else, right? Because there's so many politics in jail and in the penitentiary that everybody ain't just now. You are green lighted. You know, people do have the right to get you in jail, and nobody's going to do anything about it when you got crimes against children, right? So I mean, there's a possibility it could happen, but it don't happen as much as we think it does. Everybody thinks, well, they'll get it in prison. I mean, who? Only person you know who got it was Jeffrey Dahmer. Name somebody else.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody else. Everybody else is living their best life. 3 squares and 3 hots and a cot.
Jessica Gaddis says she was in Medline because I'm Max here. In mine, you get everything through the door.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe
That's why it's rumors.
That's why we said it's rumors, and I don't believe it happened. I just wanted to clear up some of the rumors because we were hearing the same rumors with Jake. Thank you, Melissa. Hey, Dolly. Hey, PJ. Enjoy your vacay. So far, we're enjoying it. We went out on an airboat today and got to see alligators in the wild, okay? PJ was like an 8-foot alligator. PJ's like, that thing is tiny. The boat dude was like, that alligator is 8 foot long and can jump twice as far as his body. Then we were like, oh,
it was a girl.
It was a girl alligator. She had babies. She had eggs, 30 eggs. They lay 30 to 50 eggs. But the airboat ride was super cool. Did you have fun, PJ?
I had fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
I thought he was going to drive us up onto like some sort of structure. He kept driving over everything.
Yeah, the grass and everything. He just running over everything in that airboat. I thought we'd probably see more alligators than we did. But we did see some alligators. We saw a baby alligator. He was like this big and all cute.
He was so cute.
And then we seen a mama alligator. And I did see one big alligator. It was real quick, though, because he ducked up under the water. But so I seen about 3 or 4 alligators when we were out on the airboat. But just being on the airboat itself.
We're still going to Gator World.
Was cool. And we're still going to Gator World probably. I don't know. We're going to Disney World tomorrow. And then Gatorland the following morning before we roll out of Orlando. Then we're heading towards what, Tennessee or South Carolina?
I'm not telling.
We're not telling, okay?
Probably both.
But yes, we are really enjoying our vacation. We're living our best life, okay? We're living our best life. So also, Austin Drummond was in court today.
For 3 hours.
For 3 hours. And a lot of details are coming out into Austin Drummond, cooking with Big Daddy White Boy, the hardest white boy on the planet.
White boy he knows.
So the cause of death of how his victims. Do you want to read that to them? Do you want to go over it?
This was somebody that retold what they heard in the courtroom, and so, as always, retelling the story is not really 150 million%.
Yeah, but it tells how everybody died.
Yeah.
And how what their injuries were and how they were found.
And everybody is in relation to the baby that was found. So, like, if I say Courtney Rose, grandma of the baby, was found laying over her son Braden's body.
You want to take the chair and tell everybody real fast?
Would you need me to come closer?
Just stand here so everybody can.
Makeup on or nothing. That's why I was telling.
Okay, we'll just stand right here.
Why I don't come sit next to you? I just don't like being the limelight. I don't like.
All right, just sit right here and tell everybody.
Okay. Courtney Rose was found laying over her son Braden's body. He was the 15-year-old that was also found, covered by tarp, which Braden had bought that previous night along with the burner phone Austin had used the day of the killings. So
Braden bought the tarps?
The 15-year-old.
Bought the tarps?
Yes.
That he was later covered with?
Yes. And a burner phone. That Austin somehow got a hold of and was using the following day.
So he really planned this. It was definitely planned. It wasn't a spur of the moment thing.
Courtney was shot in the head. Braden was shot in the back of the head. Adriana was shot in the back of the head, and Matthew Wilson was shot 11 times in various parts of his body.
Wow.
And remember the rumors that Matthew was
in it with him?
And that he had lost the plug or
he lost one of the drops.
So that would make sense that he would be, wouldn't it? And that's the first thing I thought.
That he was shot more. So Matthew shot 11 times.
Target?
Yeah, he may have been the target because there was rumors going around that one of the drops didn't make it to the prison and he was responsible for it.
Okay, and then so they were also covered in tarp. Matthew and Adriana were across the road and slightly in the woods. They saw a shoe which made them look further. I'm guessing the investigators. They found blood, then they found the bodies. Courtney and Braden were found next to her vehicle on the road. The passenger side of Courtney's car was covered in blood. Trigger warning for anybody.
Trigger warning.
Austin had the baby when he went to Tanaka Brown's to get help to push Matthew's vehicle down a ravine. He left the crime scene in Matthew's truck. He then had Ovis hire him a car, and he is seen returning to the crime scene.
So Tanaka helped him do what?
Allegedly, he went to Tanaka's to get help to push Matthew's vehicle down a ravine.
That's why she was arrested for assisting him. Was she helped him with the vehicle?
Tanaka is male.
Oh,
the Rhea or whatever is.
Oh yeah,
female,
you're
but
right.
Two other people actually got charges.
Okay, yeah,
just
you're
yesterday
right.
or
That
the
was
day
the guy,
before.
Tanaka Brown.
I keep losing my place. Sorry. He then had Ovis hire him. I'm not sure who Ovis is. I don't know if that's a typo, but it says Ovis hired him a car, and he is seen returning to the crime scene. He still has the baby. He's then seen leaving the crime scene minutes later in a hired vehicle. He drops the baby off and heads to Caitlin's apartment, where he is seen being given some items by her.
So he did go to Caitlin's house, and he did have communications with Caitlin. Remember during this, I was saying Caitlin needed to be in jail, that she knew, and that there's no way he murdered her whole family like that, and she had no clue it was going to happen. So after the murders, he went to her house multiple times. So keep going.
She was referred to as his girlfriend in the court proceedings today. So he had the baby from 7:01 a.m. until just before 3 p.m. And this person says, was he contemplating killing her and couldn't go through with it because he has his own baby in the way? I don't know. I don't know about that. He returned to the crime scene with cleaning products, but didn't even stay there long enough to literally do a drive-by and turn around. It was stated by lead investigator Tubbs that Austin returned to Caitlin's apartment twice that day. He also went to his parents' house and stayed for over 1 hour. And the last comment from this person says, Matthew's mother had to run from the courtroom when she heard her son had been shot 11 times. The sobbing broke her heart.
Okay, so now we know that Caitlin had some play in this, right? Because after the murders, he was in contact with Caitlin. People are saying Caitlin is going to be used as a witness for the prosecution, but she should be in jail with the other 3 people that were arrested. Big Daddy, Tanaka Brown, the other one we just mentioned, I forget how you even say his name.
Tanaka.
So, no, the other one.
Oh, I don't know how to say that name either.
Yeah, so she should be in jail. And,
I think she's the one that knew the area and pointed the direction. I think she's been helping. I think that's why she went ghost. So
yeah.
I think,
and she deleted all her stuff and vanished off the internet when all this occurred. Yeah, I think she should be in jail. Let's take a little vote. How many people in here think Caitlin should be in jail? Press 1. If you think she should be used as a witness, press 2. Now, I'm going with 1. I think Caitlin played a part in this, a way bigger part in this. And, even he wanted the protective order dropped. So why? So she could contact him. Or he could contact her because that's his baby's mama. So
they were still referring to them as being
a couple.
Together. So yeah.
Yeah, so there were a couple. It's her family that's been murdered.
She doesn't seem to have that severe of a problem with it if she's allowing him to still claim that that's his girlfriend.
Yes, I believe she should be underneath the jail.
And
right
we
along with
actually,
them.
I had sent it to you again, but I'm sure I already sent it. The actual hearing is an hour and some change that was televised. So
okay, well, we're going to do a little jumping around. because I want to go over a little bit of this, what happened in court with Emmanuel Haro today. Are all these videos the same?
No, they're just different news.
Okay.
Just recaps of what happened.
Let me kick into the recaps of this first. Let me share this screen with you guys. Wait. It didn't let me click on it. Share screen. Let's share this one. Let me add it to the stage. Let me do this. All right, let's do this. There we go. Now, let's kick on this.
It's now developing news. The parents of baby Emmanuel Haro have just been arraigned on murder charges. And Gigi Gracia was in the courtroom joining us live with this very latest update. Gigi, what can you tell us?
That's right. This arraignment lasted all of 10 minutes, and both Jake Haro, through his public defenders, and Rebecca Haro, through her court-appointed private attorney, entered a plea of not guilty. Now, I believe we have some video. This was just recorded, has not been edited. We saw Jake Haro come into the courtroom. He's wearing that red jumpsuit, which indicates he is not part of the general population in jail. He is kept separate for his own protection because of the charges that he is facing. Rebecca Haro was wearing blue. We didn't see the color of her pants, which apparently determines, but we do not believe she is part of the general population either. Again, both of them entering pleas of not guilty through their attorneys. They really didn't speak. Jake said, "Good morning, Your Honor." Then he acknowledged, and you're looking live at that video right there. You see Jeff Moore. He is the court-appointed private attorney for Rebecca Haro. He stood right in front of her. She is sitting behind him. Jake and Rebecca were on opposite sides of the courtroom, both of them brought in through separate doors. I did not see either of them look at each other at any time. I may have missed a glance, but Jake Haro kept his eyes on the judge, and Rebecca was covered by, again, her attorney that you see there, Jeff Moore, and he is from Blumenthal and Moore. That is a law firm that works with the county of Riverside, the Riverside County Public Defender's Office. They are appointed by the court. Next important dates, they have what's called a let me get that right here, the Felony Settlement Conference. That is also referred to as a Trial Readiness Conference. That date has been set for September 16th. And basically the lawyers come together with the judge, with the defendants in this case, and talk about the trial, their readiness for the trial, what they expect, and if there's a plea deal that is reached. And I want to note here that the Riverside County District Attorney, Mike Hestron, said there were no plea deals in the works. But again, that was last week, so things could have changed. That will be discussed on September 16th. On September 17th, the next day, that is the scheduled start date for the preliminary hearing, often referred to simply as the prelim. The prelim is where we will hear, most likely, not all of the evidence the prosecution has against the Haros, but just enough to convince the judge that there is cause that they be held over for trial on charges of murder in the death of their baby boy, Emmanuel Haro, only 7 months old when he was reported missing on the 14th. His parents telling police he had been kidnapped from a parking lot in Yucaipa. Investigators now saying that is not true. That never happened. And in court documents, they list the date of possible death between August the 5th and August the 14th. August 5th, most likely the last day that investigators can independently confirm that the baby was indeed alive. And I want to reiterate, his body remains have not been found yet. Again, mark your calendar if you're following the case of baby Emmanuel, September 16th and September 17th for a prelim. Of course, those dates could always change. But once again, Jake and Rebecca Haro entering pleas today to not guilty to charges they murdered their son. Reporting live in Riverside, I'm Gigi Gracia. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Gigi.
Okay. So there was one. I got a couple more that
we have breaking information in the.
A couple more that I'm going to play for you guys. I just wanted to go over these, and this was just the latest news from today. Let me pause this so I can share this. You have to share. The bad thing about being on my laptop is you have to share every screen individually. Like, let's say,
charges of murdering their 7-month-old son and then lying to police about it. Baby Emmanuel Haro was reported missing 3 weeks ago today. The boy's remains have not been found. NBC4's Christian Cáceres is live in Riverside with what it was like in the courtroom today. Christian.
Well, Annabelle, I can tell you the courtroom was packed with community members as Jake and Rebecca Haro made their second appearance here inside this courtroom in Riverside. Both of them were charged with murder and filing a fake police report last week, and today they were back to face a judge.
Haro case, the court.
Jake Haro, dressed in red, and his
Thank
wife
you, Robin.
Rebecca making another appearance inside a Riverside courtroom on Thursday, accused of murdering their 7-month-old son, Emmanuel.
Not guilty, please.
Both parents pled not guilty while several families from across the Inland Empire watched. Among them was Davina Ortiz.
I have kids. I have a 6-year-old son. I'm going to get emotional because it just breaks my heart how anybody can hurt a baby.
The investigation began on August 14th when the Riverside County DA says Rebecca Haro reported that her son was kidnapped from this Yucaipa shopping center.
I got up off the floor and I didn't see my child.
Within 24 hours, through video surveillance, investigators say they found inconsistencies in Rebecca's statement. A few days later, both parents were arrested by sheriff deputies at their Cabazon home.
This was preventable.
Last week, the San Bernardino and Riverside County sheriffs, along with the DA, said they believe Emmanuel died from ongoing abuse before the parents made their missing persons report. But the remains of the 7-month-old have not been found. The boy's father has been spotted with investigators in the search. Court documents obtained by NBC4 Investigates revealed he was previously convicted of child abuse with his ex-wife over another one of his children back in 2018. The DA says in that case, the judge ruled probation over prison. As the Haro case moves forward, many in the community say they are showing up in support of baby Emmanuel.
And a lot of us are doing everything we can to help raise awareness.
And we should mention that both Jake and Rebecca are due back in court on September 17th. We should also mention their lawyers, both of their lawyers, as well as the DA, declined to comment today. We are live in Riverside. Christian Cáceres, NBC4 News.
All right, Christian, thank you.
Okay, so that was that one. Now, there's one more I want to show you guys. Let's jump into this last one. Wait, there's two more. All right, let me share this with you guys.
Where the parents accused of murdering their 7-month-old son just had their arraignment despite a 3-week search. Baby Emmanuel's remains have yet to be located. KTLA 5's Annie Rose Ramos is live now at the courthouse with the latest. Annie Rose?
Hey guys, good morning to you both. That's right, that arraignment hearing wrapping up just minutes ago. I just walked out of the courthouse you see behind me, and that is when we saw Jake and Rebecca Haro formally charged. They are facing charges for both filing a false police report, but they also are facing murder charges for the murder of their 7-month-old child, baby Emmanuel, to which the two of them, both Jake and Rebecca Haro, have pleaded not guilty to all of these charges.
He was abused over a period of time. Both parents would have been aware of that abuse.
Investigators believe 7-month-old Emmanuel died as early as August 5th, which is the last day detectives could confirm he was alive. Now, the Haros initially reported that their son had been kidnapped outside a Big 5 sporting goods store on August 14th. Investigators later determining that did not happen, saying there were inconsistencies in their story from the start. Authorities believe the child is dead, though his remains have not yet been recovered. Now, I want to get into the history, guys, of baby Emmanuel's father, Jake Haro, who was already on probation for a prior child abuse. Authorities describing Jake as a, quote, experienced child abuser, and described in detail the abuse he inflicted on another small child just a few short years ago. Listen.
The child's name is Carolina. She is still alive today, but she is permanently bedridden. She has permanent damage, cerebral palsy, that is a result of long-term child abuse. Acute fracture of the posterior left rib, fifth rib, healing fractures of the posterior lateral 6th, 7th, and 10th through 12th ribs, healing fractures of the 6th and 9th through 12th ribs, partial bone fracture of the skull, brain hemorrhage, significant prevertebral soft tissue swelling of the neck, and a healing tibia fracture of the right leg.
Wow.
This is severe abuse for an infant.
Brutal.
Jake Haro was convicted in 2023 of child abuse for the abuse he inflicted on the child you just heard about, Carolina. And now authorities are saying it was a major mistake on behalf of the judge who decided to give him probation.
The judge decided, as is the judge's right to do in that case, he decided that Mr. Haro deserved an extra break and gave him probation and basically 180 days of work release, which ends up being like community service. That decision was absolutely outrageous. Mr. Haro should have been in prison at the time that this crime happened. And if that judge had done his job as he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today.
That judge
All right,
failed.
Jake and Rebecca Haro, they are being held on $1 million bail, each of them. We are going to be seeing them back in court on September 16th for a felony conference. But again, breaking news just moments ago, the two of them pleading not guilty for both filing a false police report and for the charges of murder of their 7-month-old baby, Emmanuel.
Okay, so
Jake and Rebecca Haro are back in front of cameras today.
We knew that they were going to plead not guilty. And a lot of people have been saying, well, he was leading them to the body, that he confessed. That's not true. That was all rumors. He did take them out to a site, but he may be showing them sites where Rebecca may have been going, right? Because I believe he's still going to try to blame his wife. If you heard the first news report, they wouldn't even look at each other, right? That's because them lawyers are starting to get in their ears and say, listen, if you don't blame each other, you're going down, for it. So I believe he's already blaming Rebecca, and Rebecca's starting to get word of that through her lawyer, right? Because he's a DA, and that DA is going to try to get her to say, hey, I was abused. He beat on me. He did it. And when it comes to time to go to court, right now she's sticking with her story that the baby's been kidnapped. But I believe by the time she gets to court, she will change that story as soon as she gets in front of a jury to try to make that jury feel sorry for her. That's just truly what I believe. So I told you today was going to be really quick. They were going to just be in there. They were going to plead. And they didn't even say their plea. Their lawyers said their pleas form, which is not guilty. Now if they take a deal, which we know in the press conference, they said the deals were off the table, but that don't really mean that the deal is off the table. At that present time, it might not be, but as things go on, they may offer them some deals to talk and hand over this baby, because it's a lot easier to get that conviction with that baby than without. Now, we're jumping around a little bit. We're covering Emmanuel Haro case. We've been covering the Austin Drummond case since that started. And like I said, he was in court today. They went over basically how the victims were killed. There's still really no motive for why he killed the 4 people there in what city was it in? It was Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Tennessee, but you're Jackson. That's what I was looking for. Jackson, Tennessee. And there's no real motive of why he did this, but apparently Matthew was shot 11 times. Okay, 11 times. And, you know, the rumors were that he was helping deliver packages of narcotics to these prisons, and one of them may have got lost. And here's the thing about when you mess with these illegal substances, when you go get it and you're supposed to deliver it somewhere and it don't get delivered, you owe for it. They don't care if the guards got it, it got lost, and you're responsible for that. And Matthew was just a kid. And it sounds like, you know, Austin Drummond planned this. He had the 15-year-old go buy tarps to cover up the bodies that would later be used on that 15-year-old. He had a burner phone. He took Matthew's truck. All these people helped and knew. Even Caitlin, okay, in the Austin Drummond case, knew what was going on, and she assisted him. Why didn't she go to jail, right? Because they're saying, you know, they're going to use her. But this, to me, is making a deal with the devil. There's no way he murdered your whole family. You helped him, and you didn't know about it. I call BS on that. Caitlin needs to be in jail, okay? Needs to be in jail. Now, this last story we want to touch on, and we'll go back and recap a little bit in a minute, is about a 9-year-old girl that was in, foster care?
I don't know if it was officially through the foster care system because it was a relative.
Okay.
So
that unalived her. But apparently, this little girl was found submerged in water in a trash bag. She was 9 years old, and she only weighed 45 pounds. So there was like some severe neglect going on. And when they said they found the little girl's body, I know her last name's May. What's her first name?
Renesmee.
Renesmee. I don't know why I keep forgetting the Renes. It's a unique name. I remembered the May part. But she was found with cigarette burns on her. You want to go into some of the details of this?
No, I just was going to say, I think that her name comes from the Twilight series. I think that was the name of the kid they had together.
Oh, okay. I never watched the Twilight series. But this little girl basically had gotten sick, and the foster parent or adopted parent,
relative,
however you want to look at it, it was a relative of the mother's, said she threw up and she tried to clear her throat.
Well, first, the baby had a burn on her back that supposedly she did to herself, according to this foster mother. Then she believes that got infected, but she didn't want to take the baby to the hospital
because she was so skinny.
She was so skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Then they believed she was getting sick because the wound was infected, and then she was throwing up from being sick. And the foster mother claimed she wanted to clear her airway and that she just died. Like, it doesn't jive well with me.
Yes, it's basically a lie. The lady was neglecting this little girl, and the little girl has passed away, and now she's looking for an excuse to why this little girl's in a trash bag, submerged in a lake.
Tiff says she was the caregiver. The mom lost custody in 2019.
Okay, let me show you the little girl's picture so y'all know who we are discussing here. Let me share this screen with you guys. Oh, it won't let me share that. Huh. I didn't know you couldn't share a picture like that on here. I could save a picture up here and show it. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, see, Nomad Feed says my 5-year-old weighs 44 pounds.
I know, it is insane. Let me share this picture real quick of this young lady, because this person is an absolute monster. And this is a little girl right there. So she's 9 years old, weighed 45 pounds. She was found with cigarette burns all over her body. Her caregiver or whoever it may have been, it wasn't the biological mom. The biological mom did come out and speak and say, well, you know, I wasn't a great mom. I wasn't there for her. But
bio mom had her when she was 16.
yeah, the bio mom had her young and came out and gave a statement saying she wasn't the best mom in the world, but she loved her baby and that she didn't deserve to die, and that this lady had been abusing her for quite some time. And it's just a shame, right? So when they found this little girl's body, she was completely submerged underwater in a trash bag. Bruises and what appeared to be marks from being abused were on her body. And just a sad situation of why somebody would hurt. If you don't want the kid, why take the kid?
Misty Moonlight said black eyes, cigarette burns on face.
Yeah, like that is, it's just the horror story with this little child.
Oh, and Bobby said the older child said that the mom and her girlfriend kicked the hell out of the little girl while they had her in the garbage bag.
Yeah, I mean,
they did say the other child
spoke.
in the home spoke.
Yeah, and so
I didn't know it was like that though.
So now, of course, you know, this woman's being charged with murder. They released her name.
They did. I want to say it was Christy, but let me triple check.
Okay. Disclaimer: this content is for adults and naturally mature audiences. Yeah, definitely for mature audience. Some topics may be triggering. Yes, because we're dealing with the death of a 9-year-old child at the hands of a monster.
Fayette County in Pennsylvania.
Fayette County, Pennsylvania, which Pennsylvania is a Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So you know they're going to throw the book at it. These Commonwealth states like Virginia, Pennsylvania, usually they don't play. Does Pennsylvania have the death penalty?
I'm not sure. I'm
Google
trying
it.
To.
Courtney, I watched this whole story on one of the crime channels. Yes. Well, you know, anytime something like this happens to a small child or a small.
It's currently under a moratorium, meaning no executions are happening while capital punishment remains a legal option.
Oh, okay. So like they got it, but they ain't using it. Well, when you kill a baby, I don't care what state you are in the United States, you should instantly go up for the death penalty, right? No exceptions.
Okay. This is court documents reveal chilling accounts that led up to the death of Pennsylvania 9-year-old Renesmee Eutsey. A newly released criminal complaint reveals the disturbing details into the death of 9-year-old who had been reported missing by her adoptive mother in Fayette County.
Adoptive mother. That's what I thought, that it was adoptive mother.
It said foster on the other article, but this is from today, 7:36 p.m. So, Pennsylvania State Police were called to a home in Dunbar Borough at noon on Wednesday to help find 9-year-old Renesmee, who authorities say had special needs. According to the report, Sarah Shipley told police she put the child to bed around 2:30 a.m. Concerning, Shipley said she grounded Renesmee a month prior and took away her electronic devices, according to the complaint. Sarah Shipley was the court-ordered custodian of Renesmee. Fayette County District Attorney Michael Obley said Courtney Eutsey was the live-in caretaker in a relationship with Miss Shipley. Miss Eutsey had adopted at least one of the other children in the household. Eutsey and Shipley were in a relationship in which the children referred to Courtney Eutsey as mom and Sarah Shipley as dad. Shipley alleges she was woken up by a different child around noon on September 3rd and walked to the victim's room, which was then empty. The complaint states Shipley told officials she was told by other children in the house that Renesmee had talked about running away. While authorities were waiting on a search warrant, a child apologized to troopers and said she had not told the truth before adding, "I'm never going to see my baby sister again because she's in heaven."
Wow.
This juvenile became willing to share information with us that she hadn't been when she was alone with the caretakers, Abel said. There were things going on in this house that were intimidating to the children. Troopers say another sibling told them the children's mother, Courtney Eutsey, killed her sister and put Renesmee in a tote. Eutsey is described by police as Renesmee's adoptive parent. There were certain things that we've observed, certain statements that we've had, and evidence that we've gathered that would seem to suggest that anybody in that household would have been aware of what was going on, Abel said. Any abuse that happens in front of a parent is to be reported. That parent is as responsible as the other if they don't. As troopers continued to interview one of the children, one allegedly told police she last saw Renesmee alive Tuesday night around 10 p.m. The child told troopers she heard Eutsey and Shipley say they were going to take the victim to a river far, far away. According to authorities, the child said she heard Renesmee screaming and then saw Eutsey and Shipley yelling at her before kicking her in the stomach. Trigger warning, this is horrific.
Trigger warning, guys. Trigger warning.
The complaint says when the pair saw the child watching, Shipley punched her in the mouth. The evidence that I have seen and the evidence that I think we've gathered at this point would seem to suggest a systematic pattern of abuse on the part of one or more of the children in the home, Abel said. The kids didn't go to school. There weren't around a lot of professionals that would have observed what we think are clear indicators. These children were underweight and potentially malnourished. We have to seek further evidence of that. The report continues to say the child saw the victim in a black garbage bag that was inside a broken tote carried by Eutsey. She told officials it looked like her sibling was sleeping. When interviewing Eutsey, she alleged a week prior Renesmee had burned her back in a bathtub. The report says Eutsey claimed the burn might have been infected, causing her to throw up Tuesday night. Eutsey alleges she tried to remove the vomit and perform CPR, but Renesmee died. According to the complaint, Eutsey told police she worried about calling 911 because she didn't want to get in trouble due to the burn and how skinny Renesmee looked. She then told police she put the victim into a black bag and then a tote before pulling off along the Yohogany River and placing it along the shore bank. Police later found the body near Smithton Borough. Eutsey is currently facing multiple charges in Renesmee's death, including criminal homicide, aggravated assault with attempt to cause injury with extreme indifference, aggravated assault of a victim less than 13, and concealing the death of a child. On Eutsey's court docket, the charges are dated back to August 27th. Some of the information that's been provided to us is that there was some type of injury or illness that led to the child's death over a course of time, Abel said. We're not alleging the child was deceased on August 27. I believe that there have been statements, at least some of the information that we've received is that the child possibly became ill and then had a decline over time. Then there was a conscious decision not to seek medical attention for those ailments. As of Thursday evening, Shipley has not been charged. Wow. We're going to regroup, Abel said. We're going to go over what we have with statements and what's been made. We'll go over the interviews that have been conducted, and we're going to take appropriate action on any other individuals that we feel are responsible. There's obviously a desire for the public to have as much information as possible. Unfortunately, there's some information that we either cannot give out or that we just don't know. We will continue to gather evidence. We will continue to build our case, and if necessary, we will be filing additional charges against additional persons. The other 3 children were taken into child services on Wednesday.
Thank God.
I think our children and youth have done a wonderful job, Abel said. They had the children placed last night very quickly. I cannot say enough about our state troopers and everybody else that has worked to get to the point that we're at now.
Now, my thing is this. Every adult age person in that house
should be charged.
Should be charged. right? If you're beating a kid to death and it's a same-sex couple, right?
Yes.
And your lover or wife, husband, or however they identify,
Roommate, whoever the heck is in the house.
anybody, just it don't even matter. It ain't even a sexual thing. It's an adult thing, and you watch a child be beat to death, or you took part in covering up the death of this child, you should be in jail. And then, like, we live in a society where they probably abused this child for months and months and months. And, her getting burnt in the bathtub is their fault too, right? Because you're supposed to assist kids in taking these baths and making sure that you turn your hot water heater down so the water don't get scalding hot, right?
For all we know, that was an inflicted wound.
That could be, she could have been burnt with an iron or anything. These people are probably lying. And, think about the kids that had to tell about their little sister being brutally murdered in front of them and kicked in the stomach and put in a trash bag. It sounds like she was in a trash bag while she was alive.
I don't know.
So
I don't even want to think about that. That is
just
so
a brutal crime. What do we do with people like this? What do we do with these monsters? Right? We got the Haros. Allegedly, Jake done hurt one child so bad it'll never have a normal life. Now we got it to where this child, their child is dead. We got Austin Drummond, who killed a whole family, but he spared the baby. Okay, even some monsters even know to spare the baby because he's just a gangbanging drug dealer. Gangbanging drug dealers apparently don't kill babies, but parents do. And then to see that, they put this baby in the care of somebody and they just completely abused this child.
But the child in the beginning of the article said that both of the parental figures were abusive.
Yeah.
And so why is this other individual not incarcerated? Like what?
Well, one of them's incarcerated, right? And the other one's not.
Right. And has no charges.
Yeah, yet is the key word.
What are they waiting for?
I don't know, but of course they should be in prison just as quick as anybody else. And wow, it's hard to even hear some things like that about a kid being abused that bad. And believe it or not, there's a lot of kids right now that are going through the same things as this and probably will end up dead. I mean, there's so much abuse that goes on in this world we live in, and people don't give a shit about their kids. And, I don't understand why you would take a kid that's not yours just to abuse it, right? I mean, there's families out there that would take a kid and love that kid and make it their own. Let's see, K.I. George Banks has been on death row since the 80s in PA. He killed 13 people, all his kids and family. Wow. I mean, here's my thing. And you know me, I'm a strong supporter of the death penalty. I believe if you kill somebody, you should be executed within 3 years. Within 3 years. 3 years is the max. I say, listen, we could get it wrong, so we give people a time for appeal, to give them another chance in court to see if they are guilty or not, or they were wrongly convicted. And then after that, we walk you out back and we put a hot one in you and we bring the next one out and do the same thing to them. There shouldn't be nobody sitting on death row, right? Because let me tell you this, I could wipe death row out in 15 minutes. Okay, I'm talking about every prisoner in the whole country on death row. Line them bitches up, give me 15 minutes, and I guarantee when you come back, death row will be empty. I don't see what the holdup is in executing people. Everybody, people are trying to play God and take people out of this world. Well, it is what it is. You played God when you took somebody out of the world. So if you're able to do these things, I pull the switch on you myself. I say we bring back Sparky and we line these people up and listen, because all we're doing is paying for these people to live. Just like Austin Drummond. He's going to go back to prison. He's going to get all that canteen he had. He's going to be living his best life, and he needs to be dead. out of this world, executed, punished for the crimes he's committed.
I don't think he's gonna get what he had before. And now they're actually they put a what's it called when you're not a gag order on everything.
Yeah, but he's not even facing death.
He is.
Oh, is he on the 15-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
Drummond is facing the death penalty.
Okay, well, good. Well, he gonna be on death row. But people don't live bad on death row.
I don't know.
They still have TVs. They still have all that stuff.
I don't know.
The right to
case.
They have more rights than the
don't
person
know.
they killed do. So to me, I just don't see there's justice in this world. And then when we do execute somebody, it takes 30 years to execute them. They done lived their whole damn life, right? You give them a couple of weeks, they'd have died on their own. I don't get the whole execution thing in our country. It's broken. The system is broken. I'm with you. I can solve prison overcrowded in the U.S. in less than 48 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you how to fix it. I'll show you how to fix it quick. I mean, why do when they give people the gas chamber, they only put one person in it? Fill them chambers up, okay? Fill them chambers up. We got room. We got room for your ass, right? I'd squeeze you in there. Alabama just gave somebody the death penalty with nitrogen gas. Alabama knows what's up, right? So I say we jam all them people in there and we hit them. It's just my thoughts. I know everybody ain't going to agree with that. I don't think we have too many people that side with killers here,
Lacey,
but you may.
Lacey said, when I was grounded as a kid, we literally had our rooms stripped of everything but the Bible.
Everything but the Bible.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably what you needed, right? You still here and you ain't in prison, so it worked.
No, but I don't think Austin's going to have it as easy as that.
I never
had
nothing taken from me. All I had was the Switch, and that's all I needed, right? It wasn't we had, I think, Coleco. What was it? Atari and ColecoVision. It was way before Nintendo. So nobody took those because it was kind of boring. You just had little knobs you turn, and it was like a little ball, and it binged back and forth. But I got the Switch. In my opinion, we need death penalty in Australia. I think it should be, listen, anywhere on this planet, you hurt somebody or take somebody's life like that, purposely, with malice, you deserve the death penalty. Simple as that. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. It's been good. Now, tell me what y'all think about Emmanuel Haro case in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about Austin Drummond and what should happen to these people that took this little 9-year-old's life, 45 pounds in a trash bag. Renesmee. All right, let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget, Dolly loves you guys, and I'll see y'all tomorrow after I go to Disney World. We're going to Disney World like we won the Super Bowl. All right, peace.